What ho, viewers? Today I'm going to talk about my hopes and predictions for the rest of the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. This includes the Tyrant's Tomb, which is the title for book 4, and I don't know what the title for book 5 is, but it's not. It's going to just be kind of my basic stuff for the rest of the series. There will be spoilers, I guess, and there will also be spoilers for the Magnus Chase books, at least the ending for the Ship of the Dead. But that won't be a huge section of the video, and I will give you a heads up before that and put a little caption up to let you know when it's going on and when you can go back. So enjoy. So it's been a little while since I've read The Burning Maze. My memory's pretty hazy. I had to go back and look at some stuff, so I just went back to the end of The Burning Maze and try to catch up on some of the broader things that are important. And it's still a little confusing, so I don't know if that's just because my hazy memory or maybe it just didn't make much sense to begin with. It's probably a little bit of both. But anyway, I'm going to give you all a little recap. So at the moment, well, where we have left off, as you know if you've read, and again, spoilers. Okay, Jason died. We're taking his body back to Camp Jupiter. We, as in Lester and Meg, taking his body back to Camp Jupiter, which apparently was just attacked. That's where Leo was for the duration of the Burning Maze. But they survived. All the OGs, Frank, Hazel, Reyna, they're still kicking. But Caligula, who has just lost his dear, beloved, annoying talking horse and his dear, beloved, annoying talking sorceress, Medea, they just got bebopped. So they're out of the picture. But Caligula is going to exact his wrath on Camp Jupiter. So Lester, aka Apollo, is going down there to return the body of our dear beloved Jason to his dear beloved friends and hopefully protect the camp from imminent annihilation. Pretty much just a Rick Riordan book, as that happens all the freaking time. These jokers trying to attack camps full of children, the animals. And he also needs to find some prophecy stuff from Ella, because she's got the Sibyllin, I probably mispronounced that, books downloaded into her dear Harpy brain. And he's got to get that stuff sorted out. And then I'm assuming once we got that, he's going to make his go at the Oracle of Delphi and fight Python in book 5. So that's pretty much where we are. There's something about like God's, yes, I have notes, don't judge me. There's something about God's tomb. I don't really know. I'm not going to try to guess what it is. Yeah, Tarquin's tomb. So soundless God. Yeah, something about that. Yeah. And the confusing part, so that's where we are, basic recap, but the confusing part is, which upsets me, and I hope that it's really not just this simple, is that Piper and Leo seem to be like done with it. And that's where I feel like I have to be missing something. I don't think I am, but I feel like I have to be missing something, because it sounds like they're done like with the quest entirely. Like, if you, as you know, with the series, we basically had kind of what I cameos with the OGs, the OGs are the 7, which they'll come in a little bit throughout each book. You know, Percy was in there a little bit, book 1. Leo and Calypso, well, Calypso's not OG, but well, she kind of is, came in book 2. And then we got Grover and Piper and Jason in book 3. So each one has kind of been making their appearances, sometimes dying apparently. And then they go on their way. But like, this just seems way like you just killed Jason. Like the time of fun cameos like is over, I feel. Like, I was talking about this the other day with my friends, and it was before I went back and looked, and I was like, yeah, the Jason death in my eyes is pretty stupid. If you guys just watched my last video about why they shouldn't kill Percy, it's basically the same reasons going for why they shouldn't have killed Jason in my mind. I'm not going to go through the whole thing now. I've complained about it enough, and this isn't really the topic of the video. But the one good thing I thought about Jason's death is that it really gives a lot of stakes now, and my friends were too pointing out, like, you your villain's got to do a lot of bad stuff to really like make you hate him. And yeah, we hate Caligula now. He killed our dude. But it shouldn't just make us mad, you know. It should make Piper mad and Leo mad and all these other people mad. And it did, but now it's like they're just going to. I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm sorry, but like Piper's going to Oklahoma and like Topeka or something, her old family land, and Leo's going to Indianapolis to like go live a normal life. And if that's it, like that just doesn't make sense. Like Caligula's still out there. His plan is still in motion. Like he's not done. He's still alive. And at least like not in full form. He's not ripped to pieces or anything. He just killed your friend. Like now it's not the time for like a normal life, which just doesn't make sense how that it would be the case. But that's how the book ended. The book ended with them going their separate ways to like a normal life. And that makes zero sense. Like Jason just died. I know Piper killed Medea and they kind of got low-key revenge, but the quest isn't over. So that just made absolutely zero sense to me. I don't think it's just going to sit like that. I think there's probably going to be something else to bring him back in. Kind of Avengers Assemble kind of deal. But at the moment, it's weird. So I guess my hope would be that it doesn't sit like that. And my prediction is that it probably will for a second, but cook back up at the end. Also, Burning Maze was a good... So this is where the Ship of the Dead spoiler is going to come in. It's... one of them. There's going to be two, so I'll let you know for the other one. But here's one. So if you haven't read The Ship of the Dead, maybe bounce and come back. Please. So you remember that part at the end when Magnus is calling Annabeth after they've done everything, and Annabeth's like pretty upset, and apparently Percy's upset too, and we didn't know what it was. Obviously, that's pretty sure that's Jason. So we know Percy and Annabeth know about it, and we don't really know. We haven't been given anything solid like we were with Piper and Leo of like a destination where they're going. So I'm hoping that they come back in book 4, because there was no definitive like, oh, they're gone. Like I think we knew all these plans before, like they wanted to go to New Rome, which, well, they're going to Camp Jupiter. So that would make sense too. Grover is out. He's going back to Camp Half-Blood for the moment. But maybe we can expect to see some Percy and Annabeth in this book 4. I know Percy was in book 1, but really not as much as like Leo, Jason, and Piper. When they made cameos in this series, like it was pretty much for the whole book or a big part of it. So I think there's still a lot of room for Percy and Annabeth to have their appearances and to make their waves again. Make their waves again. So maybe we can see a lot of them in book 4, but maybe not. I was gonna say, Rick definitely has the appearance that he wants to have some of the 7 in each book, but we're definitely gonna have Frank and Hazel and Raina in this book 4. So that's really all. I don't really have any predictions about like this whole Tomb thing. I just think it's probably going to be some kind of Marvel type thing where we see bits and pieces of the 7 coming in, and then they're all going to probably be together outside Jason, and then they're all going to probably be together in book 5, because this whole thing just doesn't like make sense. I think like these guys are heroes, and you don't really get to choose when you're going to be a hero, I feel like, and they're kind of just choosing like not to be right now. It's like they have their heroic moments, and then they're like, okay, I'm done now, I want to go live in like Oklahoma. That doesn't make sense. So I definitely don't think we're done with them. I think Rick knows what a pull they have, so he's not going to leave them be. As much as Lester and Meg have improved as characters, I think, across the series, I don't really think they're enough on their own, at least for me. That's probably not a popular opinion, but I don't really feel like they're enough on their own just to really drive it home. I think Rick will definitely want to keep using the interests of the seven to go forward. So then the other big point, which has kind of been a plague in Apollo's side throughout, is if you all remember, Apollo made this really stupid oath to Styx in book 1. Forgot what it's called. The Hidden Oracle of Trials of Apollo. When he promises Styx that he's not going to shoot archery and he's not going to like use music or something like that. Which he immediately breaks that vow, pretty much. And there has been moments throughout the series that he has paid for that. As you know, it's been a big thing throughout. You don't break an oath on the river Styx. But I think this series is definitely the first time we're actually seeing big consequences for that, because Styx is basically taking ownership for Jason's death. Because Apollo mentions a lot that he's broke that oath and he's paying for it. But he actually gets a dream where Styx is hanging like right above his head. And she says this line, which is, "Do you begin to feel the folly of your rash vow upon my waters? There will be more deaths. My wrath will spare no one close until amends are made. Enjoy your time as immortal Apollo." So apparently Styx is a salty bit. So she sucks, but Apollo's also stupid. So let's just kill Jason, because that makes a lot of sense. But anyway, it seems that old Rick Riordan is trying to scare us. There are more deaths to come. I don't think he's going to kill any more of the seven. That is a prediction. Put it out there. Knock on wood. I don't think he's going to kill any more of the seven. I think Jason was definitely just a, hey, look guys, I'm killing people. Be afraid. Ooh. So, and I also don't think he's going to kill Meg. I don't think he's going to kill Meg. If we're looking at people that may die, I would put money on maybe Reyna. She's always kind of been on her own level. And, I mean, it would be a big shock to kill her, but she's always kind of been on her own. And I don't know, there would just be some kind of... I don't think she should. I just think it would make the most sense out of the rest of them. Because she's always kind of been a solo, and I could see her sacrificing herself to save everyone else or whatever. I don't really know who else he would... I guess this could just be a hope that he should kill Apollo. Just because we have basically ended a lot of the main series the same. I guess it's kind of an unfair statement, because when I say that, I'm talking about 2 specifically. And this is another Ship of the Dead spoiler. So, caption, I'll let you know when you come back. Spoiler time. So, Percy Jackson and the Olympians and the Ship of the Dead pretty much end the same way. Which is, both the MCs, Percy and Magnus, save the day with some help. And then they are given a choice to have a nice little gift from the gods. So, in Percy's case, Zeus literally just offers him immortality. And then in Magnus's case, Odin is basically like, oh, so we should probably give you something since you just saved, like, everyone's tush. So yeah, what would you want? And both being the good little boys they are, made a very selfless reward. Yeah, they made a selfless choice. They asked for it. They had a selfless reward. I can't find words. Please forgive me. So Percy said, you know, I don't want to be immortal. He didn't say it, but basically because you all suck. And I have Annabeth over here. But you should stop being absolute a-holes when it comes to being parents. And maybe actually claim your kids. I know, crazy thought. Of course he didn't live up to it. But that was his selfless, proposal. That's the word. And in Magnus's case, he was like, I'm just going to have this mansion that's been in my family for this whole time, which Randolph just died, so no one's using it. So let's make it an orphanage for homeless kids. Very selfless choice. Basically, the end of Dark Knight Rises with Wayne Manor. So, both selfless choices, both giving up things after they save the day. Now, if Rick ends the Trials of Apollo series like that, I will jump out a window. Okay? That window right there. It wouldn't even be a good window to jump out of because it's only like 20 feet high and I wouldn't die. I would just break my legs and want to. But whatever the case, I really, really hope he does not end it like that. But I kind of feel like he will. So I think the equivalent to that would be, well, this is basically how I think the series will end too. Will be he's going to beat Python. He's going to take out this triumvirate of emperors, which is Nero, Caligula, and Commodus. And then Zeus is going to offer him his godhood back. So one is Apollo is either going to say, no, I don't want to be a god anymore. Because I remember there's this part before Jason dies, he tells Apollo, remember what it's like to be human. So I think one thing that's definitely going to happen is we see Jason had this plan to, if you all remember from Heroes of Olympus, he makes a deal with this one like underwater goddess whose name escapes me, is that he's going to build a shrine to all these lower gods that are basically forgotten and disrespected. So he's got this little diorama planned that he's going to do, of which of course he can't do because he's dead now, but he gave the diorama to Apollo and basically charged Apollo with finishing his task in that. So I think one thing, Apollo will definitely do that for sure. And maybe he'll... See, what I would really hate is that if Apollo did just decide to stay mortal. Because it just doesn't seem like Apollo at all. Like, I get it, guys. He's going through character development. He's being a better, quote-unquote, person now. But he's lived for a long freaking time. He loves being a god. He's wanted to be it the whole time. So if he just says, oh no, I'll just be a human, that wouldn't really make sense. Like, it's not anywhere close to the same as Percy saying, oh, I want to be human. Because Percy's been a human his entire life. That's all he knows. Basically, the majority of what Apollo knows is being a god. And now it's even worse because he doesn't really remember specifically what it's being like being a god, but he's still got the feeling of wanting to be God. You know, it's like when you read a really good book and it can't, like a year later, can't actually remember the events, but you remember the feelings and you want those feelings really bad and you kind of want to relive it again. I assume that's how it would be with Apollo. So the worst case scenario, I think, would be that he get everything done, get a cookie cutter finish, turn down Zeus's offer of being a god, and then just stay human. Because I just don't think it would make sense for Apollo's character at all. You can be selfless in the way that he could do things like finish Jason's task and just be a better god, be a better father to like the butt ton of kids you have. Maybe don't forget about him and just leave him off to go die in school by the case of being eaten by a demon math teacher. But just plumb throwing it all away altogether to say I'm just going to be immortal, that'd be pretty trashy, in my opinion. And I'm just kind of worried that that's where Rick is going to go with it. But I guess we will see. But what I would like is to kill Apollo himself. Because one, we actually haven't killed a main character yet in his role. We've killed Jason, but that was after his main time in Heroes of Olympus. So we've never just plumb straight up killed the main character. Which I don't think you should just kill the main character for the sake of killing the main character. But in this case, you know, like Apollo has made all these mistakes, and yeah, he's paid to it for a degree, but really it seems the people that pay for it the most are those around him. And that's what Styx is alluding to here too. She doesn't say you're going to die. She says that, well, I guess she doesn't specifically say he's not, but there will be more deaths. My wrath will spare no one close until amends are made. So she doesn't just say, I'm going to kill you. So in this whole life, this whole immortal life, Apollo's made mistake after mistake, and those around him are the ones who pay for it, like severely. Like he gets punished here and there, like becoming mortal, for instance. But the true punishment of death, which is what gods fear the most, I would say, never really occurs, never happens to him. So it would be kind of poetic, in this case, if he is actually the one to pay for his own mistakes. And maybe a scenario where he could see where one of these mortals that usually he wouldn't care about is about to die, but he takes the point of, in that split second, to take it upon himself maybe and take the risk on him this time, and maybe that's when he dies. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would definitely be a change. I don't think you should just kill people off or just do something just to throw it out of the loop. But I do think there are ways that could be a nice kind of poetic feel and sensible way of ending Apollo in a way that actually matters, and just make us all kind of hurt inside, and show a selflessness outside of that's actually really punishing, because Apollo turning down immortality again, that would be selfless, but then it's still like a happy ending. He's still mortal, you know. Well, he's still alive. But if we kill him, it's just whenever a god dies, it's like a shock, you know. You really don't know how it ends. Like, do they go down to Elysium? Do they just float around forever? Because also when we've seen gods die, like Pan, but he was immortal at the time, so he just kind of like poofed away. But Apollo's immortal right now, so his death would be human, even though he's been God the whole time. So it would just be a lot of interesting scenarios, a lot of scenarios that hurt, while also kind of showing a finish to his character development and a break of the cycle that has been his immortal life. But I don't think it's going to go that way. But I think there's a lot of good ways that could be done, and it would be pretty interesting. Outside of all that, I think it's as in all Riordan books, the good guys are definitely going to win. I think, the series has really done a job of setting up these personal enemies. We've got Meg set up with Nero, because Nero has basically been her like stepdad, who actually killed her actual parents for the whole series. So there's going to be a part where she's really going to have to overcome this kind of like ownership that Nero has over her, and really kind of break off and be her own person and take him out. So that's a real personal thing. Piper, like I said, it's kind of set her up to be over, but I still think she'll definitely want Caligula, because Caligula just killed her ex-boyfriend, who obviously still cared a lot about. And then obviously we're going to have the showdown with Apollo and Python. And I'm sure, like I said, Apollo's going to make some sort of really selfless decision at the end to kind of close it all off. So yeah, I think that's, even though I really don't like the enemies, the villains of this series like that much, it has done a good job of setting up personal connections that make sense for the characters to actually care about and want to do something about. So I just hope we're going to see them do something about it that is a little out of the norm, not cliche, and actually makes sense. And yeah, so I've had a lot of negativity about this series, but overall, I'm still looking forward to see how it ends. I've still enjoyed it for the majority, and it's gonna be interesting to see how it closes out. I'm pretty sure the next book comes out in like the fall, so definitely, guys, read it the first week it comes out, because you'll be spoiled if you don't. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I kind of rambled about a little bit. This video was really freaking long. If you've stayed, good on you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the series. Peace. Bonus content, because I forgot to mention it in the actual vid. Will Jason come back to life, you may ask? Well, there's a lot of good arguments out there. But personally, I don't think he will. But it's one of those things that if he did end up coming back to life, I wouldn't be really surprised. But do I want him to come back? No, as much as I love Jason, I think bringing characters back to life after you kill them off is pretty lame because it kind of just takes away the sting of death. So let him stay dead, let him kick it in Elysium and all that good stuff. So yeah. Also, I'm going to explain some stuff about the Apollo death in the comments if you want to check that out. Yeah, thanks.